Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning, whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or in the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. Remember, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please, it helps us out so much if you would just leave us a rating, and also leave us a review. If you would please go ahead and do that, I would be forever, eternally, and I truly do mean eternally, because these podcast episodes will probably outlive me. If you would do that, I would very much appreciate that. My legacy, after I am dead and gone from this planet Earth, would very much appreciate that. Because you know what? I may die, but those reviews will stay on Apple Podcasts or Spotify forever and all time. Remember, if you want to listen, or if you want to answer this week's question, you can go to the comment section in Spotify by clicking on the description of the episode, commenting down below, and you will be notified when your comment is published, and I read those comments aloud on the next week's following episode. This is an ad-supported show, so there will be an ad break once we're done reading the responses and doing the Would You Rather for this week, and then there'll be another ad break about 20 minutes into the show after that, ish, give or take. Please go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, where I also read those responses, and we can post things all podcast and episode related. And also remember to take part to participate in the poll and the Would You Rather for every week. So last week's poll was, would you rather? I forgot to read this out on the show, but I'm glad everyone did see it. Would you rather be stuck on the moon or stuck in the ocean? And again, we had a pretty good split here. We had a 55 to 44% split on this one. So I think it still goes on. You know, it's not an incredibly large margin here for the swing. It's really only one vote difference for the winner. Stuck in the ocean. Stuck in the ocean. To be honest, this was not my pick. All right, because let's just say, I guess because I didn't read it out loud, I guess the idea was that you'd be stuck forever. So you're going to be stuck. It doesn't matter. You're not going to reach an island if you're stuck in the ocean. You're not going to reach humanity. You're stuck forever. Which one? And you will have enough to live a full life. You'll have enough food and all this kind of stuff to live a full life. I don't know. I just think the ocean scares me. The ocean is too many critters and creatures and weird things that I could just it's unsettling. Something about space is just like, well, at least people will remember me as the guy who died on the moon. That's kind of cool. People die in the ocean every day. I feel like I never hear about that. All right. Not that I shouldn't. All right, so why don't we read out the comments from last week. So first one comes for the last week's episode was, what's a scandal that happened in your family? So the first one comes from a special little cat. My family's so boring. There are no scandals. And that's so fair that you get to go to school. Or that's so not fair that you get to go to school tomorrow. And we start at 8:26. I wake up at 6 every morning to take the bus. Set me free from school. Yeah, because apparently people were starting school early August. And now it's like second week of September. And I just started school. It was my first week of school last week. And I'm like, geez, why is everyone starting school so early? They're making you kids grind, man. They're getting you ready to get in the factories, man. This is like getting prepped for child labor. It's like, yeah, you remember, the school is to remember that you have to devote yourself to a giant corporation. So that's exactly what it's going to be like. You never have another fun day left in your life. The fun days are limited. Next one comes from Dusty. For the Would You Rather, I'd rather be stuck on the moon as long as I got entertainment and able to do spacewalks on the moon. I'd be pretty content. Honestly, bro, Same thing for me. I really feel like people are kind of sleeping on the moon, dude. Like, low key, I feel like the moon is kind of the vibe. Like, the moon is like kind of sick. I feel like the ocean is like, ocean's right there. I live close to the ocean. I could just go and like look at it. It's like, okay, it's cool. It's not every day you get to just go out of your space shuttle or space whatever it is called, landing pod, and just, look out onto the vast reaches of the moon. Not a whole lot of people explored the moon. Next one comes from Stressed Human. What's going on, Stressed Human? Whoa. Why am I getting blamed for stealing summer? The scandal was me. IDS. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Mormon and queer. The first thing my mom said when I came out was no. Just no. It's like, oh yeah, no. How about no? Mom, I'm queer. Yeah, no. That's just not that you're not queer. It's just no. It's not like just no. Like the answer is no. I'm not asking a question. I'm telling you this is a statement. This is not how the English language works. We don't respond to each other like that. I can't just tell you a fact and you're like, no. Yeah. It's like, so I think the first of the three people to walk on the moon was, Buzz Aldrin and Louis and Neil Armstrong. And when Neil Armstrong said, it's a small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. No. Simply no. The answer is no. It's like this. Your response is not compatible here with what I am telling you. I feel like there's a bit of some sort of lack in cognition of what's going on here. And then for this week's poll, I chose the moon since how much people litter or how much people litter in the ocean. And I'm kind of tired of living on Earth. Great show, Luke. Always make me laugh. Well, that's what I'm here for. Always to put a smile on the faces of people with a smile. So that is what I'm here to do. I love you all. But yeah, again, trash. Another great reason. I'm not trying to get caught in the Pacific garbage patch, if you know what I mean. I don't really think that's the island that I'm trying to explore. It's like, oh, I think I see something up in the distance. It's a giant pile of fucking garbage. Like, microplastics. So good. Nothing better than just chilling on the beach of microplastics. Love it. Love when the waves crash up against the thing that holds a six-pack together. Love it. Next one comes from the Green Changeling. Being stuck in the ocean leaves you with the best chance of getting rescued. Yeah, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I can't act like, oh, yeah. I literally did not read it out last week. Especially if it doesn't stipulate how far out and in what ocean. Heck, you could be so lucky to be rescued within the hour. Being on the moon only has one morbid advantage that I can see. The vacuum would potentially provide a quicker death. Seeing how that there are astronauts stuck on the ISS right now. Yeah, I forgot about that. And how long they've been there. I wouldn't hope for a fast moon rescue mission. But the moon does have gravity on it. It's just like, isn't it like 17% or something of Earth's gravity? I don't know. But yeah, I guess I wasn't clear enough I didn't read it out. It's kind of my bad. It's kind of, I'm going to take the responsibility for that one, folks. My B. Next one comes from Ghost. What's up, Luke? I just turned 17. Yay, Lamau again. I feel like I'm a bad influence on all you guys. Like I just turned 23. It was my birthday yesterday. Or I guess it was my birthday on Sunday, September the 8th. That was my birthday. And and you just turned 17 3 days ago too. Your birthday is either September the 17th or September the 7th or September the 8th. We might have similar birthdays, same birthday. That's actually really cool. But I just turned 23 years old, and now I feel like why do I feel like you listening to this podcast is like an equivalent of me buying you alcohol? Like I feel like this like if the government finds out that you're listening to this podcast, like I'm gonna get arrested or something. I feel like this is in no way is gonna end well for me. You might get a citation, bro. You actually might get a ticket for listening to my show. They're gonna drop one off at your house. You know how like if you pass by one of those cameras like on the street and it takes a photo if you're going too fast. Like that's what the government's doing. That's what all these cameras are for, is just to see what podcasts you're listening to. And if they find that you're like listening to a podcast that's like a little bit more mature, they're gonna just send you the photo. Be like, yeah, we took this from a satellite in the sky. We took this when we were doing one of our casual drone flights and saw you were listening to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Yeah, no, $700 fine. Next one comes from L Dude. Use the Force, Anakin. And I don't really know where that comes from. I feel like, guys, I forget pretty much everything I say after every time I do an episode. So it's so funny when you guys comment stuff that's like related to the episode and I go and look and I'm like, I bet this would be so funny if I could remember anything about what I said. Like I could be making references to past shows. I could literally be making the same joke from a previous show and I would have no idea. And I don't like listen to my own episodes. Like I'm not gonna listen to my own show. It's hard to find yourself very funny. I'm very self-critical, so I'm like not really like, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm fucking hilarious. But but yeah, I'm sure that has some sort of reference, but I really don't know. Couple comments here from on the subreddit. First one comes from Livid Initial 3215. I absolutely love the sarcasm in your episodes, Luke's. Oh, Luke's. Yeah, it's just been me switching off with my alter ego, like, every time. Like, it's just a different me that pops into these episodes, and it's like, that's like your goal, is to try to figure out which one it is at which point in the episode. It's hard to do this, like, for an hour sort of sustained. I have to get, like, a tag in clone Luke that comes in and kind of just, fills in the blanks. He's fucking not nearly as funny as I am, though. But, yeah, that guy's a freaking loser. Can't believe you guys listen to him. What the heck? You guys must notice the difference, because, wow, that guy has no sense of humor. But always makes me chuckle. Keep up the good work. P.S. Listening to your pods from my Samsung smart fridge. Again, we are just moving up in the world. I know, people got the smart fridges. People are listening to it through the Google Homes or whatever. Those, like, the Apple Home. Like, when your home is like a smart home, it just reverberates through the walls. It just produces itself. There's no speaker setup. It's just for some way, it's just being like generated within the household. All sorts of things. Yeah, people, it's just the smart fridges. People are listening through the smart couch. The gaming chairs with the speakers on either side. It's just my voice just bellowing in people's ears. Yeah, it's just we're moving up in the world. I'm listening to your podcast through my Apple Vision Pro. It's like, what are you seeing, bro? What are you seeing? But thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy my sense of humor, because I think sometimes people are just like, I'm a really sarcastic person, like really sarcastic, and I think sometimes people take me a little too seriously, and I'm like, yo, just making jokes, just poking some fun, just taking a little stab at some fun here. Just it's not a thrust. We're not thrusting fun into places, okay? This is not aggressive, malicious move. We're just, it's just a light little sort of poke. It's just a little sort of, what's it called? Abrasion. We're just causing a little abrasion on the skin of humor. Next one and last one comes from Swiftland. I think these are two people I haven't heard comment before, so welcome to commenting. I love the fact that you decided to participate. Nuclear family. The phrase is taken from the general use of the noun nucleus, itself originating in the Latin nux, meaning nut, the core of something. In its most common usage, the term nuclear family refers to a household consisting of a father, a mother, and their children, all in one dwelling. Wikipedia. Again, I feel like that's not, like, that came from last episode because I just didn't know where the term nuclear family came from. So I appreciate this comment, but I feel like it really doesn't clear anything up. It's like, what has a lot in common with family? Nuts, bro. That's where we all come from. All right. We were going to call it the Balls family, but then we were kind of just like, that's a little too on the nose. And we know kids come from the balls, but we were also kind of just like, I think that's a little bit too on the nose. It's just a little like, we need to be a little, let's abstract away here. So then we got nut, and we were like, okay, but it feels a little too vulgar. And now we're going nucleus, which is kind of, we're throwing curveballs in everyone's direction right now. This is kind of like, where does this come from? And I feel like the more ambiguous, the better. The kind of, the more we're going to be able to confuse people about this whole thing, the way better. I feel like there's so much more accurate names that would be able to kind of describe like a nuclear family. Just like family of four, or maybe a more descriptive, literal word, but we're going with nuclear. Nuclear. That's generally tends to reference explosions and vaporization and death. If you've ever seen the joke I was making last week was about Terminator. It's giving Sarah Connor. It's giving John Connor. So the last thing we'll do is the Would You Rather. So this is an interesting Would You Rather, just a little fun one for you, just because we're allowing our house to have a little fun. Okay, not too much fun, just a little bit of fun. This week's Would You Rather is, would you rather always win a coin toss or never suffer a headache ever again? Now, I know everyone might just be going to headache, but you never ever know when your life may be on the line with a coin toss, okay? Have you ever watched Batman? That's Two-Face's whole thing. Harvey Dent's whole character is based around flipping a coin. All right? If you're ever in Gotham City, I think you'd be kind of like, oh, maybe I made a mistake choosing the headache thing. I'm kind of having a headache now because Harvey Dent is sitting in front of me and he's going to shoot me in the head if it lands on tails. So I wish, I'm kind of counting on the coin toss here. But you never know. You never know, because you could use that to manipulate, right? Let's think about how we can be terrible people. Let's just take a little break from being good people for 1 second and think about how terrible and awful we could be. And manipulating others into doing coin tosses so that we always win things. How about you pay for my next 10 drinks at the bar, but only if it goes on heads? I'm kind of cleaning up here. It's like, you always win, bro. Like, I feel like I'm always paying for your stuff. It's like, yeah, it's so weird. I literally don't know why that would ever happen. It's not like I found a genie in a bottle and said that I wanted to win every single coin toss I've ever had in my life. That'd be weird. Anyways, we're going to take a short little ad break, and then we're going to hop into today's episode.
Antes de ser Optimus Prime, ele era Orion Pax. Antes de ser Megatron, ele era D16. Antes deles serem rivais, eles eram amigos. Todos os Transformers têm uma origem. Você está pronto para descobrir? Vem aí, o filme de origem mais aguardado da história. Transformers, o início. Dia 26 de setembro, somente nos cinemas.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm so happy to be so stoked, so fired up to be back here another gorgeous week with all of you beautiful ears. What is the beautiful cochleas? That's it. It's that little thing in the inner ear that you hear with, I think. Now, cochlea has like all the hairs on it. And if those hairs like get messed up or something, you can't hear anymore. Sound is actually a pretty interesting thing. But what's going on in my little cochleas? So happy to have you back. First one. So obviously you've seen the episode title, but this episode is, what is the dumbest way the popular kid screwed up their life? Now, I don't want to say that, I was fairly popular in high school. I don't want to say because I was the popular kid. I got around. I was very involved. I was on a lot of the sports teams. I did musical theater. So I generally, when you do that kind of stuff, you're very involved. You tend to know a lot of people. And, guys, my life's going down the drain. My life is just, I'm surprised it's not over already. Like, I've had some really close calls with the decisions I've been making recently. Like, it's bad. It's bad. I exposed myself to a flesh-eating disease the other week just for fun, because I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little impulsive. I feel like I've lived my life with some rigidity. Why don't I go to the Center for Disease Control and let myself in and just see if I can give myself some radioactive powers like Spider-Man, because I'm actually trying to, come up in the world. I'm trying to have a come up, but yeah, it turns out not every disease you find in these places is made by Oscorp, okay? It's not made by Marvel. That's one thing they don't tell you, all right, that you're not going to become a radioactive superhuman, is that no, apparently you have a flesh-eating disease, and you're going to die a very slow and painful death, and you're going to excrete all of your insides in a liquid form in the next 24 hours. So I'm like, doesn't sound much of a superhero to me. I don't know. No, those don't sound like superpowers, okay? Liquefied insides is not really high up on my list. First one comes from Unhappy Television 91. Two of them decided to take hunting rifles and shoot several rounds into the principal's house at night, thinking the police wouldn't catch them, and they would just not follow through with a possible attempted murder. That is the stupidest, you're in a residential neighborhood. It's like a nice neighborhood, and you're like, yeah, no one's going to hear these gunshots. It's like, Yeah. First of all, it's like, yeah, people will think it's a car backfiring. It's like, dude, it's 2024. Cars don't backfire. When was the last time you heard a car backfire? What is this, 1970? Like, this is just, I don't know what you're going to think people. It's like, yeah, they'll probably just think it's fireworks or something. It's like a random Tuesday. Why would anyone be setting off fireworks? Also, fireworks are visible. Like, you can see them in the air. Like, I don't really understand the rationale. It's like, yeah, you know what's a really subtle way of almost trying to murder someone? Using a gun. That's like, no one's going to know, dude. No one's going to know. It's so subtle. No one's going to hear anything. It's literally undetectable. Like, how guns are like so undetectable. It's like probably the most easy way to detect, like, or know how someone was killed is probably all the gun casings on the ground. You know, in police shows and stuff where they circle the casings on the ground. It's a really good way to know someone was killed with a gun. Another good way that good way to know that someone was killed with a gun is a bullet hole. Bullet holes don't tend to just pop around. You know, I'm not really looking at my house every other week and saying, oh, a couple bullet holes on the side of the house today. Someone must have been angry. Oh, geez, someone's angry I didn't mow the lawn. Someone's angry I didn't mow my side of the lawn. Oh no, a couple of my leaves fell on my neighbor's lawn. Looks like a couple of bullet holes in the wall. Gosh, what a guy! He can really blow his top. That guy, you know, he's got a hot temper. That guy, he's not really he needs a chill pill. He needs a little bit of something to relax. I just think, like, I really think that he's not really a friendly type of fella. But you don't want to get on his bad side. You really don't want to get on his bad side. Otherwise, you might have a couple bullet holes in you. You know, he threatened to shoot my kneecaps off the other week. So, what a guy. Yeah, it's like, I really don't understand. Again, like, what's the prank in that? It's like, you know what would be really funny? Shooting someone. Like, I really don't think that that's, like, a very comedic move. Like, I think if you're to tell your other friends about this, it's like, yeah, so, like, we found the best prank, dude. We found the best prank on the principal at the end of the year. Everyone's like, yeah, okay, what is it? So I'm going to take my dad's gun, right? I'm going to hear it, and everyone's like, okay. And I'm just going to, like, fucking, like, shoot his house, bro. Like, shoot his house. Like, pretend to, like I'm almost going to, like, kill him or something. Like, imagine his face, bro. Imagine the look on his face, dude. It's going to be, like, all over TikTok, bro. Yeah, if it's all over TikTok as evidence of you almost committing murder, like, I really don't think... There's no real way to spin that. It's like, Your Honor, it was just a prank. Chill. I didn't aim at his head. Oh, relax. It's like, I'm not going to kill you by shooting you in the foot. Like, just, come on, can we not just kind of realize this? We're just hazing, okay? It's a little bit of high school hazing. Grad year. All right? Now I'm not going to graduate prison? Like, come on, dude. Judge, you need to loosen up a little bit. Next one comes from Firmly That Guy. Didn't exactly screw up his life, but he managed to put 2 brand new Audi A8s into the same telephone pole outside of school. Second time we all stuck around in the school parking lot to witness the aftermath. His dad was apocalyptic. You hit the same pole? How? He got a used banana yellow wagon after that. It was hilarious. Come on, bro. I mean, it's kind of expected, bro. If you're getting 2 Audi A8s, it's like that's on the kind of the dad, low key. The dad's kind of like, crashed his first Audi A8 into the telephone pole. Okay, son, but only one more Audi A8. Okay, you only get one more Audi, son. You got your 3 strikeouts, all right? You only get 2 Audis, and now, I'm sorry to say, son, but we're downgrading you to a Mercedes. We're giving you the budget model Mercedes, son. He's like, you guys are the worst parents in the world. How could you do this to me? You don't understand. Mercedes, everybody at school already has a Bentley. Like, what? I'm driving around a Mercedes? Everyone's gonna laugh at me. Come on, bro. You gotta, come on. Like, even you were thinking, it's like, Dad, I crashed the Audi A8. Guess you're gonna have to get me another one. Sorry about that one, Pops. Sorry, I kind of, Yeah, I kind of really, I really screwed the pooch on that one. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know what? Just hook me up with another one. Just everyone deserves a second chance, right? Isn't that the saying? Everyone deserves a second Audi A8. Isn't that the whole saying? It's the whole point of the saying. So, Dad, if you don't buy me another Audi A8, it's kind of like your fault for not being forgiving. Like, do you see how this is your fault? It's like this is total just gaslighting your dad. But I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't necessarily, like, I don't really care how rich I was. I feel like I'm not going to be like, yeah, Audi A8 is my son's first car. There's no way he's going to fuck that up. Like, come on, dude. It's almost just like in the name itself. Like, it's like, yeah, let me give my son the, like, fastest car he could possibly ask for. It's like, yeah, that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. All right, it's not like he went for the R8. Like, okay, he went for the A8, which is a little bit, that's dialed back, okay? He wasn't allowed the TT or whatever it's called. I don't really know cars, but all right, anyways, next one, No Ben Knob. Went to a house party shortly after grad and got kicked out for being douchebags. Went to the party and beat the host to death with a bat. Petitioned for a conditional release so they could spend Christmas time with family. You know, completely normal shit. Come on. Don't you think that's a bit of an overreaction? I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that is just a bit of an overreaction. Okay? At the very least. I mean, I don't know if I've ever gotten kicked out of somewhere. I've never really gotten kicked out of anywhere, but if I did, you know, I don't think my first thought is, let me go beat the host with a baseball bat. That kind of seems like, you know, you want to kick me out of here? You seriously think you can kick me out of here? How does being beaten with a baseball bat sound? Yeah, I hope you rethink that one. I hope you're going to reevaluate that perspective because, yeah, I'm just going to beat you to death with a baseball bat. Like, I feel like, come on, bro. Like, there's no way that kid was just, like, a good kid or like, how could you be that popular? It's like the kid is just, he's just normal up until that point. Like, I feel like there's got to be warning signs. You don't just get up one day and think, if I get kicked out of this party, I think I'm just going to go and beat someone with a baseball bat. But I do have math tutoring. So, yeah, I will have to. Maybe I actually could get one of my students to calculate the velocity. So, I wrote a new tutoring math problem for you guys. It's math physics, you know, it's all one thing. It's all related. It's important to, you know, get outside of your comfort zone. So you have to figure out how hard would I have to swing this baseball bat at the owner of this house's head in order to kill them. That's your problem for today. So we have to calculate mass of the bat, mass of the swing, and just velocity, all these things. This is classic physics, okay? Classic mathematics. You plug in the formulas, because I kind of need this by tonight. I'm going to need these calculations by tonight. He's just like looking it over before he beats the hell out of this person. He's like, okay, this makes sense. And he's like, God damn it, Jared, I've been teaching you for a semester and you're still making mistakes, okay? You obviously didn't use the formula correctly. If I wouldn't have corrected your work, I wouldn't have even killed them. Okay, you're going to fail your physics class, and I might even kick you out of tutoring. Because if I wouldn't noticed your mistake in the formula and applying the formula, I who knows? I could have probably gone to jail for longer because of you. So, you need to start picking it up, Jared. You really need to start picking it up. Because I'm not going to I should honestly go to the judge and say, "Listen, it was Jared's fault. Jared's the one who gave me the calculations. I mean, I would have swung way harder if it wasn't for Jared not following the formula." Damn it. Yeah, I really, come on. There's no way that was an isolated incident. There's no way some good kid, some valedictorian, you know, he's just like, I just aced my test. Or even it's like, Teach, I got a 99. What could I possibly get wrong on this? He's like, oh, well, when you showed your work for this one question, you forgot to show it for just the one below it too. You think you're funny? You think this is some kind of joke? I'm worth 100%. Okay, I'm everything I do, I give 100%. So I'm gonna give 100% to swinging this baseball bat at your frickin' head. It's like, yeah, okay. I think we are starting to notice some of the early warning signs. It's kind of a little bit of couple red flags must have been drawn. Next one comes from Diablo 4. Kid was kind of smart. I love how you describe it. I love how you go at the first part of the sentence. You describe them as kind of smart, like the popular kid. Like, what happened to what all happened to the smartest kid you knew? He was kind of smart. Wasn't really. Well, he was smart, but he was kind of smart. He wasn't smart as me. Clearly, obviously, I'm not in prison, but I just love how you kind of just diss him right off the bat. You're like, kid was kind of smart. He's fine as whatever. No Albert Einstein. Okay, wasn't that smart. But an excellent, no one needed to know that. But an excellent multi-sport athlete. He had a full baseball scholarship lined up for a state school. Why did I say that so weird? A state school. The summer after senior year at a party, he got drunk and picked a fight and got his knees broken. Don't know what happened to him, but I know he didn't go to college. Again, bro. The ego is a little too high on this, okay? I feel like this sometimes happens with these athletes. It's like, if you have a good future ahead of you, especially with sports, I feel like the only way to really excuse yourself from getting an injury like that is if it's a sports injury. Like, oh yeah, I'm a football player and, I tore my ACL playing football. It sucks, but I did, and I didn't actually. I'm just making up this scenario. But if I did, it's a tough situation. You tore your ACL. Like, that's a football injury. That'll happen to you. But how do you tell that, to your state school? Like, how do you tell that it's like, yeah, I tore my meniscus and it's like gone. It's actually gone. Like, it's out of my body. Oh my gosh, how did you tear your meniscus playing baseball? Like, what was this? Like, did someone hit you with the bat in your knee? Like, what could possibly have done that? I mean, someone did hit me with a bat in the knees, but it wasn't during baseball. Okay? He just said that my shoes were whack at the bar, and I was kind of like, well, your face is whack. And then he decided to whack my knees with a baseball bat. So, adjacent. I guess we could call it it's a baseball injury of sorts. It's a variation on a baseball injury. I don't know if it's the most common baseball injury, but I'm sure it happens. Like, it could, there were knives involved. He did actually cut my meniscus out of my knee, which tends to happen less in baseball. Doesn't really, that kind of stuff I feel like happens off camera. But, it's plausible. All right, we're gonna leave this at plausible. But yeah, like come on, bro. What are you picking a fight for when you have it's like, yeah, I have my whole future ahead of me with everything set up for me for pretty much my entire college career and rest of my life. Why don't I just go and fuck it up? Why don't I just go and get my knees taken out by beefing with somebody who I literally don't even know? Sounds like so much fun.
Interrompemos esse podcast para perguntar: quem você quer ser?
Designer, engenheira, pedagoga,
administrador.
Quer saber? O Senac EAD é nota máxima no MEC. Tem cursos de diversas áreas, com conteúdo elaborado por especialistas do mercado e professores mestres e doutores. Ainda tem o Senac Carreiras, conectando estudantes a vagas de emprego em todo o país. Saiba mais em ead.senac.br/graduação.
Aproveitando o break do seu podcast para perguntar: será que você sabe...
Quem é ele, esse tal de rock and roll?
Trident apresenta um feat de gerações com Rita Lee e Luísa Sonza.
Eu procuro estar por dentro do corpo dessa nova nova geração. Mas minha filha não me leva a sério, doutor. Ela fica cheia de mistério com esse tal de rock and roll.
Quando terminar seu podcast, já aproveita pra ouvir esse feat aqui no Spotify. Trident no Rock in Rio 40 anos. Masca e destrava seu rock and roll.
And then reply from Fun and Geeky. That's why the first rule of fighting is don't. Reply from Black Dragon 8577. My 11-year-old thinks he's a tough guy and constantly talks about he would fight off assailants or would hit people for being assholes. I finally came up with him an analogy that seemed maybe to get through to him. If an asshole is spewing shit, would you run up to them and punch them or stay anywhere near them? No, you would get as far away from that literal asshole as possible and try to avoid their shit by any means necessary, with the obvious answer being to simply leave the vicinity. Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. The same is true of a figurative asshole spewing figurative shit. Why would you want to interact with the asshole and his shit any more than you absolutely have to? Yeah, I don't think our backs are being pushed against the wall here. Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, I really don't think you're forced into this situation. It feels like you are kind of the instigator a little bit. Like, you know, even if someone says something rude to you, you can, you know, it's really not hard to just brush it off and not take it personally, like I feel like most people kind of do. I'm not, you know, I'm honestly more offended if a close friend insults me. Then I'm like, because you actually know me. It's like, if someone random person comes up to me and calls me an asshole, I'm kind of just like, well, we've never hung out before, so how would you know that? You know, I am, don't get me wrong, I am, but you wouldn't know that. What do you know about how terribly I treat people? What would you know about me gaslighting? Obviously, you've never been gaslit by me, so I think you need to do some inner reflection. If you're going to call me an asshole, you better call me an asshole for the right reasons, okay? I'm a manipulative piece of shit. But you don't know that. But you're about to, because now we've interacted. And I would consider us friends now, so I'm going to, basically, by the end of our friendship, you're going to be left with nothing. You're going to be left with nothing, because I'm going to manipulate you into giving me everything you own. I don't know. That riff was going on. I don't know where that came from. I'm just showing my true colors to everybody on this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I'm hopefully not a manipulative person. Next one comes from ThenBed1001. Tried to hit me with his car and lost control and put it in the ditch. Cops came and realized he realized he was a DUI. He was driving under the influence. Oh, he was DUI and underage and lost his scholarship. Again, how do you, like, Your Honor, I literally barely hit him with the car. Okay, I wasn't even aiming for him. All right, I was aiming for the douchebag that I hate in my freaking English class. Okay, he's always correcting me. I was not even aiming for him, Judge. I literally wasn't. He just happened to get in the way. I had other targets, and I didn't even hit them. So, can we not just call this even Steven? Can we not just kind of part ways, just being like, you know what? Messed up. Learned my lesson. Next time, hit the right guy. He barely broke his legs. He barely snapped his kneecaps, okay? Like, cry me a river. I'll cut you some kneecaps out of some cardboard or something, or carve them out of wood. Like, can we not move past this? I feel like we're harping on this a little bit too long. I barely touched him. He barely had to get pelvic surgery. Like, everyone gets pelvic surgery at some point. Okay, he was probably going to fall at 70 years old and get it anyway. So can we not just speed up the process? 20 years to life. Goddamn. Yeah, you can't even be like, what? Like, like, imagine him just trying to be like, what? Like, I'm getting arrested for this? Like, come on, this isn't fair. Like, you can't dispute this. Like, so what? I hit someone with my car when I was drunk. It's like, we all make mistakes. You know that song? Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Okay, I was just feeling a little bit. I had a hard day. Okay, my coffee maker wasn't working. I couldn't drink coffee, so I was just like, fuck it. I guess I'll just drink 10 beers instead. Next one comes from Mr. Yan 7600. Took pictures of himself. Oh my God. took pictures of himself getting head from the football coach's daughter and slipped a copy under the coach's office door as revenge for some slight against him. Yeah, you made us do suicides, coach, so here's something illegal. So I'm going to screw myself over by handing you something that's illegal. He was one of the top football players. Again, this just draws a name on... I love football. I play football, and it's like, this just makes us seem like the worst people in the world. He was dumb enough to think the coach's daughter wouldn't say who it was in the picture. Of course she told, and of course he knew, and of course he was kicked off the team. It's like, coach, if anything, you should be kind of low-key giving me a high five. Like, that was kind of sick. Like, I mean, I know it's your daughter, but I'm also kind of like, I'm kind of getting some in the picture. It's kind of sick. Like, I feel like you should kind of be like, you got me, but kind of like, don't do it again, but kind of like, that was sick. Like, I feel like that was kind of our relationship. I feel like it was kind of like, oh, you made us do suicides. You made us run and conditioning. I slipped a picture of your daughter giving me oral sex under your door. Like, I feel like it's kind of, I thought we had that camaraderie. This is supposed to be a team, coach. We're supposed to work together. All right? Like, I was trying to your daughter, I thought was an extension of the team. All right? I thought she was kind of part of the team as well. And I was just like, sometimes team members are close. I didn't really think I was doing anything wrong, coach. Like, it wasn't, I feel like this is we're kind of overblowing this. Yeah, of course he was kicked off the team. Obviously you were kicked off the team, bro. I feel like this is like maybe a 1-game suspension, coach. Like, maybe I don't practice for the week. It's like, because I kind of need a break too, because conditioning has been way too tough. That's kind of why I did this whole thing in the first place. A few months of disciplinary actions after, because he sort of spiraled and he was sent to one of those schools for people with difficulty in Norville schools. Wow. I don't know if it ruined his life, but it ruined his trajectory, and he wound up dropping out of the local community college instead of going off to Florida State like he had planned. Esoteric Enigma, new one, they poured some chemicals on the football field to spell out our graduation. Everything is about football. Graduation year for senior prank. It killed the grass and ruined the soil under it. The grass and soil on the football field are specific and expensive. It cost tens of thousands of dollars to repair it on such short notice. The school wanted it to be lenient, however, the insurance company required them to get the police involved to cover the claim, so they were arrested. I'd hate to be the teacher who has to break that news. It's like, I know you guys were trying to do this prank, and it's like, can I see blah, 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 in the office, or in the office, please, right now. The kids think, like, probably get suspended for a couple days. It's like, I hate to be the ones to break this to you guys, but the police are outside the door. Say your goodbyes. Say your farewells to your families, because unfortunately, the insurance company, they didn't take to this one too lightly. I'm the chill principal. I'm the cool principal. Like, you know me. I'm the chill one. Like, I'm the cool principal. I'm like kind of cool with everybody. Like, I'm on your side. All right, I'm on your side here. I am totally down with I'm down with the screw the police, right? Like, it's just, but yeah. I think I couldn't really see you guys at getting any less than 15 for this one. Yeah. Couldn't really see that. Apparently the insurance company thinks this is a big deal. But you know what? Just want you to remember, I'm the cool principal. I'm not the one throwing you in jail. So don't get mad at me that cops are outside the door. Okay? I kind of had to bring you guys in here. So just don't blame it on me. That's all I ask. It's just, you can be mad about this all you want, but just don't tell the other students that I was the one who facilitated this, please. I feel like I'm kind of popular amongst the student crowd here. Everyone kind of likes me. I'm still a little bit new to this job, so if you could just let everybody know that the police tracked you down instead of me cornering you in here and getting you arrested, that would be, I would really appreciate that if you'd do me that solid. That is so tough, man. That's not even like the worst thing you could do. But again, where are these kids getting chemicals? Like, poured some chemicals. Like, what kind of chemicals? Like, I feel like why wouldn't you just spray paint it? Why would you I feel like the spray paint is so much easier. Like, you just go to the hardware store, grab some spray paint, and spray paint it on the field. But instead, you were like, no, let's just grab some harsh chemicals. Like, if you get spray paint on your body, okay, it's fine. It's paint. It may take a while to come off. If you get bleach on your skin, like, oh, geez, I just poured a bunch of sulphuric acid all over my skin. Oops. It's like, I feel like everyone's like, yeah, so let's go pick up some spray paint tonight. It's like, you know what is easier than spray paint? It's like, oh, what? Why don't we just use sulfuric acid and just drench the field in it? And it'll just disintegrate everything and kill every living thing in and around the area. Like, I feel like that's more easy. That's easier than spray paint. I don't really see the logic here. I feel like you have to go out of your way to get chemicals. Like, this sounds like someone's dad worked at like a nuclear power plant or something. It's like, yeah, my dad's bringing home a bunch of liquefied uranium, or he's actually bringing home a bunch of radioactive waste, and I feel like we should pour that on the field. We happen to have it. So, yeah, I know he works at the nuclear power plant, so I'm just like, hey, Dad, just grab an extra bucket of the nuclear waste instead of throwing it down super deep into the ground where it's going to stay radioactive for the next 300 years. Instead of that, instead of spray paint, why don't we just use that? I feel like that's kind of just like a little bit easier, have a little bit more access. We wouldn't have to pay for it. You know what I mean? Next one comes from Infinite Backspace. Had sex with the German foreign exchange student on the principal's desk during a pep rally. Instant expulsion. Exchange student was sent back to Germany. In his defense, it was consensual and she was devastatingly attractive. Okay, sure, whatever. It was consensual and she was attractive, but I feel like that still doesn't warrant the principal's desk. Like, it's like, people, this is how much pornography has just like ruined our minds. It's like, Teach, have you literally not seen any videos online? Any X-rated videos? This happens all the time. Okay, I literally saw one last night where this exact same thing happened. I feel like this is pretty common. All right, except in that one, it was the principal. So I kind of was like, I'm kind of in a better situation here because I'm a student and it's not like this weird thing. Like, I feel like it's better me than you, am I right? Why don't we just kind of settle on the fact that it's like a novelty? Like, I feel like you should kind of, again, I feel like this is a situation where I should be kind of hyped up for this. I should be being praised for this. This is kind of sick. Like, I feel like we're not really acknowledging the fact that this was just, like, dope. And I was kind of just rizzing. Like, this is Riz, Teach. This is Riz, principal. I don't know if you know what that is, but case in point, I feel like I'm kind of a local legend now. But I think expulsion, that's a little deep. Like, I feel like I deserve maybe a medal or something. Maybe an assembly at the least. Kind of like, give this guy his props type of thing. Not this ridicule and, condemnation and threatening to get a police involved. Like, whoa. I'm the one with the Riz. You just got the divorce, okay? I feel like you're a little jealous. Like, I feel like you're a little bit jealous of me, Prince. Like, I understand you're going through the divorce and everything, but that's no reason for you to take that out on me. Okay, just because I have the Riz and you don't. All right, just because I'm the captain of the football team and you're the principal of a high school, like, I feel like I deserve a little bit of clout here, a little leeway. All right, people know my name around town. I can't have that tarnishing my name. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe we could just switch the narrative up a little bit here. Maybe make it a little bit more actually accurate to the situation and how frickin' dope I am. Maybe a little bit. How about we give a little props to how dope I am? Next one comes from Jen Kag. 4 of them were in a car driving going very fast on an expressway late at night. Lost control of the vehicle and flipped it. Ejecting 3 of them not wearing a seatbelt. Driver got rolled over by the car and was killed instantly. Second was killed from the injuries, and third had severe brain damage and requires assistance until dying. Holy crap. One passenger was wearing a seatbelt and left with minor injuries except the trauma of watching his two friends die, and one of his friends become severely disabled. Again, wear the seatbelt. Yeah, like, the reason I read this one off, that was obviously very depressing, but it's not like we haven't heard this kind of story before. And every time it's kind of just like, every time I get into a car, or I've gotten into a car and someone's not wearing their seatbelt, I'm just kind of like, who are you impressing, dude? Like, who are you looking to be like, yeah, everyone in this car's not even going to know I'm wearing it. That's so dope. Everyone's going to think I'm so sick. Like, everyone's just going to be fanning over me, dude. I'm not wearing my freaking seatbelt. Jesus Christ, you're a freaking daredevil, man. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, have you ever... You want to come home and see my dirt bike? It doesn't have a seatbelt either. Yeah, I'm a dirt biker. I don't wear seatbelts. It's like, okay, well, you know who die a lot? People who ride motorcycles. Do you want to know why they die? Because there's no seatbelt on a motorcycle. That's probably one of the big reasons. Also, it's exposed to the air. It's not an encapsulated environment on a motorcycle. So that's another reason. But easiest way to die in a car crash, by far the easiest way to die, is the seatbelt. Like, companies didn't put those in for aesthetic purposes. They weren't just like, you know what was really going to complete the interior of this car off? A seatbelt. A little belt that straps around your waist and chest that clicks in. I feel like that's kind of going to tie things together. I really think that that's going to kind of add a certain nuance to the environment. That's kind of like, you know, it adds a little bit of, dare I say, like, atmospheric energy, right? Because think about it, when the astronauts, they strap themselves in with their seatbelts and they get launched off into space, I feel like it's kind of like, you know, we should try to market that how we market our cars, right? We're driving Teslas here, okay? Teslas are practically rocket ships. You know what's going to complete that? A freaking seatbelt. No, I hardly think that's the case. And I really don't think, it just makes everyone nervous, dude. It just makes everyone freak out. Like, if I see you not wearing your seatbelt, I'm like, if I'm driving, I'm literally not driving the car. Like, this is making me unbelievably anxious right now. Like, really, you want to be like flown through the windshield of a car and just on the ground, close to dying, and being like, it was worth it. I didn't wear my seatbelt and I look so sick. Like, being launched through the front of the windshield and you're going to be like, at least I looked cool doing it. I don't have the use of my legs anymore, but it was so worth it. I can tell everybody I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. Let's read out one last one here. Last one, this one is so weird, okay? This is just straight up psycho. It comes from Image Tar Player. Dug up the body of an 11-year-old boy that died in 1921 in a cemetery for black veterans and their family, and took the skull from the body and smoked marijuana from it. Again, bro, you've got to be the only person in your friend group that's hyping up this kind of like, yo, I got a crazy smoke spot, bro. Crazy smoke spot. Everyone's like, yo, man, like, what is it, bro? We've been looking for a new place, man. It's like, you know, cops keep raiding our old places, bro. What's the spot? He's like, man, we're going to go to the cemetery, right? Everyone's like, what? I feel like the cemetery is, first of all, number one place I would never want to be on any sort of substance. Like, cemeteries are really not a great, like, that's not a very, like, up vibe. Like, it's not a very, like, no one, you know, I've never heard of someone just, like, doing, like, party drugs and being like, you know where we should go? We should go to the freaking cemetery right now, dude. I'm just, like, feeling crazy cemetery vibes right now. Like, I'm just feeling like we should go see some dead people right now, dude. Like, I feel like that's the last thing I would ever want to see or think about when I'm, like, if I was, like, on substances or something. Like, that's just, like, and he's like, yeah, man, and then we're gonna, like, take the skull and, like, smoke from it. Everyone's like, why would we do that? Why would we do that? We have a bong. Like, we have a joint. Like, why do we need a skull? Because he's like, yo, no, bro, you don't understand. Like, it's like a morbid thing, bro. Like, you don't, like, maybe you just don't get me, bro. I listen to, like, 21 Pilots and shit. Like, I listen to fucking Green Day, bro. You don't get it, bro. You actually don't fucking stand. Like, I mean, it's just, like, Blink-182, bro. I'm, like, on Blink-182, bro. They would, like, totally understand this, bro. It's like, I honestly think any one of the members of those bands would be completely mortified at what you're doing. I don't really think Travis Barker is going to be hyping you up for this one. I don't really care how many tattoos he has. I don't really think he's going to be like, that's so sick. Committing a terrible crime and like mutilating a dead body like that? So dope. It's for the gram, bro. It's for TikTok. Check me out. I think the bong is gonna do just fine, and I hope that I hope the dudes who this guy was talking to are like, we should call the cops. I hope he got caught by those people. Obviously the story was heard. Okay, folks, we're gonna wrap it up there for today. Thank you again for joining us for another absolutely just super fun episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast. It is always just a pleasure to be with all of your cochleas every single week. I love each and every single one of you. Remember, this is Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments /ask Reddit. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. I appreciate it so much. It really does make a massive difference. It is such a small action that makes a massive difference. So please go ahead and do that. Remember to respond to this week's question and the poll, and I will read those responses out loud on the next week's episode. I can't wait to be all with you all again. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.